So I'm going to try to make it quick because I want to honor your time for 10:30. So I'm going to be here after cleaning up, and if you want to network or socialize, I'm all about that. And you can ask me questions too. Also, we have a couple door prizes, so you need to stick around for this. It's the showcase, Small Business Showcase is giving away free ad space.
Woo-hoo, nice.
Also have this beautiful mug right here. I know you're dying to get. So, can you hear me without the mic?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll just use my inside voice. Yell at kids. So, anyways, I'm here to talk about the Women's Entrepreneur Summit that's coming up in actually 5 weeks and 2 days, but not counting. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about that. So, the Women's Entrepreneur Summit is a program that we use to launch the Seed to Your Health Women's Initiative, Inc. in 2018. We did have to rearrange our business model a little bit during COVID, so I thought that put us in the time frame of the 5-year span for 1 million cups, so I took advantage of the opportunity. So just a little bit about me. I used to tell my kids, when you're little, it's important for you to volunteer for organizations because you have time and energy and you're little. So it's good to learn how to give back and make the world a little bit a better place. So when you're in the middle of your life, you're raising your family. It's very hard to volunteer while you're raising your family. And you probably feel like everything you do is volunteer work for your family. And then when you get older, then it's important to give back. So I raise our family to live their whole life with the idea that when they get older, it's their job to give back and make the world a better place. So I'm older. So I had to think about what was I going to do to make the world a better place. So I decided I wished that when I was growing my entrepreneurial business, that I would have had somebody who would lock arms with me and say, I have 40 years of experience and I'll help you with your business just like I would help me with my own business. Would you like to travel that journey with me? And that's how we got here today. So that's the quote that I use to live by, and I hope you think about that too. So I don't have I don't have a job. That's not entirely true. But I don't have a job that I get paid for that I go to every day. I have a job that fills my heart full of love and helps our community. And that's my job for whatever time I have left in here on this earth. So the next slide is always about how are you qualified to do this business. So Seed to Your Health Women's Initiative is a nonprofit organization, which by the way is a business. It just allows people to donate money to our organization, and it allows us to give the money to other people as well. And it's a little bit complicated business model, but it is a business model, and all nonprofits are supposed to make money. You're supposed to get a paycheck. Not many jobs people will do without paychecks, So you're supposed to get a paycheck, you're supposed to have employees, you're supposed to pay your employees. You're not supposed to be in a world of debt, so you do need to make money, so it is a business. So how I became qualified to run this nonprofit organization is I grew up in the healthcare system. I started as a staff nurse. I worked my way up through the hospital. I became a CEO. I opened outpatient clinics for the hospital, created all kinds of outpatient programs. Then I went on to start a couple of my own businesses, which was also a journey in itself. And all COVID happened, and that was a thing, and 9/11 happened, and that was a thing. So I always say, I've had businesses during economic winters, that's what I say. So I have a lot of experience all across the board. And I feel like in my head, I have a whole university that's just sitting there doing nothing. So this gives me the opportunity to invite you into my library, right? So we had a big year this year. We entered into the Notre Dame McCluskey New Venture Competition, which we kind of talked about that another time. Seed to Your Health Women's Initiative won semifinalist designation, which was really great. And we also won greatest social impact for our community. So I feel like this has been, all the years up to this year, it's worked, right? That's what's really exciting. So that's me. then this is how the problem. So we always talk about, okay, what's the problem? So here's the problem. The problem was during 2012, the last census next to when we started, which was 2018, only 2% of businesses in St. Joe County were owned by women, 3% in Elkhart County, 2% in Berrien County, which is right next to us, compared to the 39% of women-owned businesses in in the United States, and 37% in Indiana. That's pretty big. 37% to 2%. What happened? What's happening? So here's what's happening. So we did a lot of research, and I had interns that helped me do it, and we tried to narrow down what's the real problem here. How come if you start a business in Indianapolis, you have a really high, it'd be easier for you to create a business and grow a business in Indianapolis than in South Bend, Indiana, right? That's what that 37 to 2% says. So here's what's happening all over the United States. Is I kind of boiled down to these 4 things. And this is what I kind of ran into as I was going around all over South Bend looking for people to help support the idea that I had to help women entrepreneurs. And I thought it would be easier for women of color to grow businesses if they had someone to help them. I didn't have anyone to help me, but I sort of got the idea that it was easier in this package to grow a business than it was in another package. And so what I wanted to do is create open access to everybody. So this is what I heard when I went all over South Bend, Elkhart, and the Niles, Stevenson, Michigan area. I heard that women will not spend money on business education. So everybody knows that women won't do that. I heard that women can't gain access to resources because nobody really wants to help them. That everybody knows women aren't real business owners. I continue to hear that today. It's insane, right? If you ask people, if you say, oh, I was just wondering, and I just, at 2018, we had a real issue with people not really viewing women as business owners, more like hobbyists. Do you think that's still true today? And most of the time I hear yes, that's exactly what it is. And then also women from low-income neighborhoods who were financially abused had trouble connecting into those resources. So we created a solution, the Women's Entrepreneur Summit Roundtables of Success to help us, which, by the way, it's November 19th, 5 weeks and 2 days. So what we needed to focus on were the areas that were really impacted for women. So after all that research we did, it kind of boiled down to these five things. And if you do the research today, it's the same. And we also did a 100-woman survey in our area to try to substantiate, was your business either not starting up or failing or struggling because of one or all of these reasons? And everyone we surveyed said yes, one or all of them. So, one or two or all of it is all of those 4 things. So number 1 was the lack of role models, lack of mentoring, lack of business resources, fear, which I translated to confidence building, and lack of leadership. So those were the 4 areas that we needed to do something about to help the women in our community. So at the Women's Entrepreneur Summit, guess what? We do all those things. So we say true to our mission in everything we do. Even this is true to our mission. Getting entrepreneurs together, connecting to resources, finding out the things that we can do in our community to build our business up and also support each other, because we can be each other's mentors. We're each other's role models. It's not about someone from some other town coming here. It's all of us. The way I see it, if you have 5 minutes more experience than I have in any given area, you are now an expert to me. So each and every one of us are experts to someone else in this room. So what we do at the summit is it's 7 hours of education, basically, resources, mentors, role models, inspirational stories, and we have around 18 presenters. This year we're actually going to have a couple less. We're going to have 16, but the idea is for you to go and just literally have your mind blown. That's the idea. We have a speaker every 10 minutes, so it's boom, 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 boom. It's very fast, it's very exciting, and we have a great time. So we divide it into kind of 3 areas. So one area is The morning, so in the morning we do like breakfast. So this year we're having a catered breakfast by the Lucky Gnome Pub. Yeah, we're gonna have a great breakfast there. And then we're also doing health screenings, and we're having a speed networking event in the morning. Then we have that whole day of event. We're at lunch, we're having a chef competition. So if you know any chefs who would like to be in our competition, we're up for that. And then in the evening, right after the event, we're having a sip.
Have you been sipping already?
5 times. So anyways, that's open to the public, and that brings people in to shop at the vendor spots and all that. So we're very excited about it. So one of the big things we've been able to do is try to bring everyone together as a community. So there's a thing called Women Entrepreneurship Day. It's a global movement. It's every year, November 19th. And I thought it would be great, along with a few other women in our community, who all help out at the summit, to approach the mayors and common councils in our community to see if they would recognize that day too. Because every year we celebrate that at the conference, but we really want to get like everybody on board. So we did. So we got the mayor of Mishawaka, the common council to approve November 19th as Women Entrepreneurship Day. Mayor Mueller, Mayor of South Bend, also the common council. Then we also have Goshen as part of that, and I thought, well, heck, while we're doing it, let's just go ahead and ask the governor of Indiana if he'd go ahead and set that day aside, which he did. So I thought about bringing the big certificates, but I thought, okay, let's go out. So let me just tell you how we're doing. So I know I'm talking really fast, but I really am trying to honor your time. So this will be my world record in speeches and this one. I have a very good command of language. So the milestones is this next slide. So I thought instead of doing the regular milestone chart, I would just tell you how we're doing. So the mentoring we do is I do like a one-on-one program where we sign up 20 women for a year, and I follow those 20 women all year. But obviously that's not all that I do. We also have had 925 people to the Women Entrepreneur Summit over the years. So this year we'll be crossing the 1,000 mark, so it's very exciting. We do, I can't hardly believe it when I read the numbers, you know what I mean? And so anyway, so we have for formal mentoring hours, so that's when someone makes an appointment with me and we sit down and talk about it, it's 2,295 hours. So those are the number of hours since 2018 that I've delivered to the community, basically over a cup of coffee. We have given away 212 scholarships. So my dream for the Women's Entrepreneur Summit is that everybody who can pay for the summit pays, but everybody who can't pay, who wants to come, comes. So I feel like, to me, if I tell someone they can't come to the summit because they don't have enough money, to me, this is what it feels like. So I'm a nurse, so I can relate to healthcare as something that's dear to me. So I feel it's like this. You have cancer and I have the cure. But I'm not gonna tell you what it is because you can't pay me. And I feel like that's wrong. So I feel the same way about the summit. We have a cure. The summit is a cure. And everyone who goes to the summit comes out of it basically cured. They're like, now I can do my business. Now I know what I need. Now I know how to move forward. Now I have 100 people in the room who are all right here who are gonna help me get to that next place. So I feel like the scholarships are really important. So how we do scholarships is we ask companies to give us money to support those scholarships. We ask small business owners, we ask women-owned businesses, because the mission of the event is to have women providing the summit for women. So we ask women to pay their own way if they can, and if they can't, buy a ticket for themselves and then buy a ticket for someone a sponsorship. We also have a big social media presence, 38,519. This was as of last year, so I haven't calculated this year. We now have 80, so the people in our mentoring class now, there's 80 that we have serviced. So the goal is, by 10 years we've been doing this, we got a little setback during COVID, but the goal is to finish up with 200 women entrepreneurs in our community who have been building their business since the very beginning. So it's not a flash in the pan kind of a thing. It's like you we really invest in what you're doing. I want you to invest in what you're doing, and I want you to be resilient and long-lasting. So that's the goal. Also, like I was saying, we got some big awards this year, and we grew our last year's email list quite a bit. We went up 37%. So people add themselves into the email list and want to be part of it. So I was just looking at it, we have like 3,766 people that are now in our entrepreneur email list. So I'm like very excited about it. So this is the growth opportunity. So basically, there's a lot of availability for growth. Women are still struggling in their businesses compared to how men are doing in their businesses. And there's a big gap in what we actually are doing and what can be done. So that's this slide. This is where I ask you for help. So before I do this, there was a testimonial slide I was supposed to put up. So, but I thought for testimonials, we just have people in this room give their testimonial about the summit. So Sonia, you have been helping with the summit. So tell us how the summit is.
I think when I first met you, it was close to the time around the summit and the Women's Entrepreneur.
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. When I first met Cindy, it was around the time, I think it was close to the time of the summit and also her one of her women's entrepreneurship thing. And I was just starting my consulting firm, and she pulled me right in right away and had me as one of the speakers. And I met the mayor there the first time, and I hadn't been long in town. So it was a great way of reintroducing me to the community, because I left when I was 18, and then just moved back and started my business. So people didn't know me and didn't know of the skills and who I've become out in corporate America. So it's been a whirlwind and a journey. Believe me, once you connect with Cindy, she will pull you into anything and everything and stretch you and challenge you in a good way, and you'll come out better on the other side. So not just with the summit, but all the interactions. And when she says she'll give you information for free, she'll give you information for free. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of people out here that will do that. You know, they'll try to charge you, or you know, they're not generous with their time. You know, you don't feel comfortable asking questions and stuff like that. But Cindy never makes anyone feel that way. So thank you, Cindy.
Thank you. Anybody else who's been to the summit? Anyone else? How about steering committee members? So this year we have steering committee members. So we have a steering committee that's helping out with the summit, and they're planning the summit for you. It's very exciting. We had a meeting last night. Does anyone like to say anything about the summit?
Sure. So I've known Cindy for a while now, so it was kind of cool to kind of get myself into like more women entrepreneurships. So that was kind of cool. So I was like, where do you need help at, Cindy? And she's like, well, join the committee. So I was like, all right, what do you need me to do? So I mean, we're planning a great day for entrepreneurs to come and, you know, get all the resources that they can get. As well as giving that sip and shop afterwards with some entertainment. And so it's been a great experience for myself to personally grow, so I greatly appreciate it. But I think it's going to be a great entrepreneurship summit this year, and it's actually going to be my first time going to the summit too, so I'm super excited about that.
That's great, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, great.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about it too. I mean, Cindy's phenomenal. She's phenomenal to work with. So if you have the opportunity to be taken under her wing, I say go for it. I am really excited about what the summit is shaping out to be, who we've got. I'm actually going to be one of the speakers. So that's exciting for me. But we do need more speakers, and I want to appeal to that. We definitely need more people to apply to speak, and we need people to buy tickets. It's going to be really phenomenal. And I've never been to the summit before either. And what Sonia was saying about how when Cindy pulls you in, she does. And it's a good thing. I feel like I've grown so much just in the, 7 months now that we've known each other. So thank you. And I'm really excited to see what's going to come from the summit.
So as a speaker, what are you going to speak on?
Health.
Okay. I mean, what you do, what your baby is, so to speak.
Yeah, I'll be speaking on health and stress.
Okay.
Hers is fascinating. Mine is I've taken control of control. I've taken on the getting the chefs together. So I'm still looking. I've already approached Ivy Tech South Bend. Now we're looking at some other things, but I want to start another fundraiser for next year using Unity Gardens, Ivy Tech South Bend Culinary, and Unity Gardens, Ivy Tech South Bend Culinary, and I'm blanking, us. There we go. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. But there's going to be a lot going on, and I'm never going to forget somebody coming in and saying, in my class in entrepreneurship at Ivy Tech, the class I attended, she said, you just have to go. And she was just like, her eyes were this big. And I knew it was really going to be fascinating. So I joined this year and started with the steering committee and just started learning. So yeah, this is a new one for me, but it's very fascinating.
Awesome.
Thank you. So you know what, it's not just for women, so we have women here today, but we had, I think some of the men sneaked out. But the Women's Entrepreneur Summit isn't just for women. One of them stuck it out. It's for anybody who wants to come. So the first year we had men come, we had like 5 men come, and I thought it was so weird they came. So I went up to a couple of them and said, oh, so why did you come today? Like, it's a women's event and everything. So did you come to look for a date?
Perfect opportunity.
What the deal was with that. And they're like, no, my wife is a speaker. She probably wouldn't like it if I was looking for a date. And then, so that was really nice. And then another man said he came because he wanted to learn how to soft sell, that women are very relationship oriented. So he wanted to learn how to do that selling that is relationship. And then another man came because he wanted customers that were women entrepreneurs. So he thought that would be a good place to pick up a few customers. So I thought that was really great. So it was fun. So quickly, so these are the things that I need, and if you want to just see me after, so I mean, I don't know if everybody doesn't pop out of here, but anyways, these are the things that I could really use, I think would really help like move the summit forward. So one is fundraising. So we do have a fundraiser on Saturday. It's at the Chocolate Cafe. It's from 11 to 2. It's a vision board. I get together. Janice Purnell comes here often. She's in charge of it. So you can still get your tickets for that. It'll be really fun. And part of the money goes back to the summit. So if anyone has any fundraising ideas or would like to do a fundraiser, not just before November, but anytime next year, I would love help with that. And then also how to ask for money. Like, it's very hard. I don't know how to do that, like how to ask somebody for money. I'm getting better. But if anyone has any ideas on what the right way to do fundraising is and how to write letters to ask for money, oh awesome, that would be really great. And so thank you. And then strategies on how to appeal to millennials, specifically ages 28 to 43. Because that is really the target that's growing the most businesses right now, is that group. So the next group is the 43 to like 50 something. What is that, 60? What is it? Boomers, I guess the early boomers maybe. So, because they're going into
Gen X.
Huh?
Gen X.
Gen X, is that the next?
Gen X.
So whatever the Gen X is. So they're now moving into looking towards retirement. They're now looking at that area. So what people look towards in retirement is to grow a business, doing something they enjoy, as opposed to just working. So for somebody else. So anyways, but I keep a lot of statistics. If you'd like to know those, I'll just bore you to death with them. But this area, we're doing kind of good, but I think we could do a lot better. So if you have ideas about that. Then strategies on how to get the word out. So we have a committee that we all are posting on Facebook and social media, and have email marketing that we do. And some people have suggested you create social media groups, and then everybody who's inside that group sends out, posts on their social media pages or whatever. But I mean, whatever strategies that you think I could maybe try, I'm totally open to it. And then another idea I had, which I think would be great, is develop company partnerships. A lot of companies will partner with nonprofits, and they'll give, their employees will do things to help that nonprofit. And then I also thought it would be great to have a company adopt an entrepreneur. So say, for instance, your catering business, and so a company would adopt you as an entrepreneur that does catering. They would hire you to do their catering at their job. So you could like kind of support each other that way. And then the money that we would get would pay for you to get additional entrepreneur education and training and that kind of thing. So that's kind of the ideas that I have. So if anyone has any ideas about that, don't wait till the next 1 million comes to jump right in. So this is how to get a hold of me as far as the Women's Entrepreneur Summit. We have early bird registration going on right now. Just so you know, it's ending next week. So it is a discount. And then we also have VIP registration, so which is you pay more money and then you get like $500 worth of stuff along with your, like coming. So we have that VIP thing too. We also have advertising in a guidebook, and actually Melissa has a guidebook if you want to know what that looks like. It's over there. And everybody gets that. It's like me being old-fashioned, tied to the phone book. That's me being all tied up into the phone book. So to me, this is now the Entrepreneur Phone Book, and in there is a list of all the resources for entrepreneurs to grow their business. So my thought is you're gonna get that book when you go home, and you're gonna keep it right next to your phone, your computer, and you're gonna use it as a resource all year long. So that's what I do, but I lose mine, so I have to have many copies. So I think that's it. Does anyone have any burning questions, or you're just gonna ask me later? Ask me later.
I will ask.
That's
you
great.
later.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.